Hi everybody, sorry I haven't done any videos for a long time. I just wanted to do you a quick video on some mower maintenance. This is my Ego 56 volt mower. One thing about these plastic mowers I've noticed, if you've changed your blade, this is a high lift blade on here. I've just sharpened it. I'm just going to show you how to sharpen your blade. When these mowers they come with a mulching blade. I found if you're picking your grass up, this is what they call a high lift blade. If you can see, it's got a slight curve on there, and that helps with pushing the grass up into the box. But it's so efficient that it blasts the grass up onto the underside of your deck. Now you need to periodically clean that out. If you do it as you're mowing, if your grass is wet, you can clean that up really quite nicely. It's a lot easier than the old petrol mowers where you tip it over, petrol pours out of it, and you can't get it going again. So the Ego mower, you can tip it over, scrape all that out. You can see how thick that is in there. That's because I never scraped it when I finished yesterday. You need to clean it each time you use it, because it dries like rock and horse shit, mind my French. And the high lift blade is so efficient, it blasts it up onto the top of the deck as it's forcing it up the chute. Now I was going to do a quick now I've already sharpened this blade, but I'll just show you on the grinder how to position it. If you can see in my garage, it's so dark, I'll turn the light on. Now if you've got a bench grinder, obviously when you've got the blade running, you don't need to really you only need to sharpen the upper side of the blade. But if you've got a lot of stone chips in the blade, what you can do is, if you face off the front of that only lightly, because every time you sharpen it, if you can imagine that the front of that blade was level when I started, as you're sharpening it, the blade gets smaller and smaller. So if you can just dress the front of the blade. Now when you're using a bench grinder, you should always have things facing up. Never do it down, because it will get jammed in that between the blade and the guard. And you need to set the guard as close as you can to the wheel, and always work upwards. And then if it slips, it comes away. It hits the guard and comes away, rather than getting jammed in there and taking your fingers and glove in there with it. So what I do is I do a quick dress along the back of the blade, just quickly run it across there to take any burrs off, and then flip it round, and you just work along the face there. Don't work in one place, dress it along backwards and forwards. Just putting, I'll probably show you outside. I'll show you outside. You might be able to see here. See that nice clean edge on there? Now when you flip that over and do the other side, the first thing you do is put your hand on that hot end. So try and wear gloves, always wear ear defenders, and most importantly, eye shields. So always work up the wheel, always wear eye shields. Now if you haven't got a bench grinder, but you've got a vise, you can always do these in the vise with a 4-inch grinder, with a grinding disc or a floppy disc. Never grind with a cutting disc, and never cut with a grinding disc. If you try and grind the face off with a cutting disc, it's so thin it can break, come off, go and dry. So now when you've been cutting for a while, you get a build up of grass either side of the bolt hole, and that is the biggest thing really for throwing the blade out of balance. And when the blade is out of balance and it's quivering, that's what causes the wear further up your shaft in your engine. So if you just scrape that off either side with a scraper, get rid of as much as possible. Now I'm using my mower every day, so it gets crap on it, or and get enough vibration through it anyway that you wouldn't really notice if the blade is out of balance just through grass build-up. Now when you put it back on, make sure that the high lift section is pointing up into the mower. As my dad did years ago, put it on the wrong way up, and this will gouge circles in your lawn. Now with the Ego mower, I've never had a problem getting the bolt out. It's got a flat on there, but what you do get is quite a big build up on the shoulder, and it looks like you can't get the socket on, so you need to clear that grass crap off there. Do that as tight as you can do it. Just hold on to one end of the blade and do that as tight as you can, because it will undo itself if you don't. So there you go, that is a quick bit of maintenance on your mower blade. Okay guys, sorry I haven't done you many videos. Cheers, bye.